This is so not minimal of me, but the day after Christmas, I had a little birthday cash that I was gifted, and I was running an errand, and I stopped by a thrift store specifically on the hunt for like cozy, comfy, layerable things for the winter. And this delicious Sherpa hoodie was one such thing. Look at this thing. It's honestly so comfortable. And I know, if someone's like, ew, like, it's basically like wearing someone else's blanket, like, yeah, I washed it. It's totally fine. I got this for like $3 too. So it's like, what? But I got this one, and then I actually got like the same exact fabric material in a light baby blue, because like, how often do you find the exact thing you're looking for at a thrift store? Oh. So anyway, I am happily wearing it tonight. We are actually expected to get a big snowstorm, so I'm cozied up in my Sherpa hoodie with the Christmas tree still up. And I'm recording this first week of January. But here's the thing, guys. I don't know if I trust people who take the Christmas tree down, like the week after Christmas, day after Christmas. I guess I don't understand people who are like, we have to have Christmas up at like 1st of October, that thing's going up. And then they're also like, we took it down on the 26th. I'm like, I don't know. That's confusing. Confusing. We are usually just late to the game and everything. We didn't get our tree until December 8th, I think, or 7th or 8th this year because of our travels. And then we were coordinating to go to a Christmas tree farm with our friends. Which is also a heated debate because I grew up with a fake Christmas tree. Ian grew up with real trees, and we've always done a fake one in our marriage. But this year our friends were like, we're taking you to the Christmas tree farm, and it's really nice. Like, it's been a really cool tree to have this year. But anyway, I'm also like, because it was such like a big deal, like I'm not about to take this thing down. So I think last year we left ours up almost until Valentine's Day. But I don't care. Like, it's our house. It keeps the atmosphere cozy. Like, it does no harm to leave that thing up. But anyway, I digress. We're here. It's a new year. Happy New Year, guys. Wow. Lots and lots of thoughts processing into 2025. I think I shared this last time. I was shooting a wedding on New Year's Eve of 2024, and it kind of went into New Year's Day a little bit. So it was a very unique start to the new year. I think usually I have a couple days to kind of lose track of time between Christmas and New Year, muddy the timeline, really get contemplative. But this year we were hosting so much. We had a lot of friends who live out of town come in for the first time in years. We were hosting family. We went up to Ian's parents' place a couple times, and they're like an hour and a half away. So lots was going on, and I had 2 weddings in the middle of all of that. So it wasn't as like stay in the jammies all day, kind of lose track of time. It was like a little more fast paced, which was totally fine. But because of all that, and then of course having a wedding on New Year's Eve, it just was such a different start to the year. It was like, okay, like, I didn't have time to get all emotional exactly about the year. So I've been trying to, now that it's kind of turned over, just do my reflections and kind of set some intentions for this new year. And I've got lots of thoughts. So I figured throughout this month of January, maybe I'll just kind of sprinkle in some words of wisdom, some thoughts and things I'm processing. I think there's something different already about 2025. I don't know. I'm not superstitious or anything, but I do think there's significance in certain things. And 25 is like a quarter of, this next chunk of 100 years. So it kind of feels like a big, like, okay, this isn't just another year to do whatever. It kind of feels like, okay, we're going to get serious on a couple of things. We're going to make some bigger changes, not just in the New Year's resolution sense, but in like a moving forward as a whole. This is what I want things to be like. I'm also kind of done with New Year's resolutions. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with them at all. I just think goals are a little more practical, and having softer resolutions or goals for each week or month is probably going to be a little bit better and more fruitful than just slapping like a couple lofty intentions on the year with no real like metrics to measure and no real way to like achieve them, if that makes sense. So I have some more thoughts on all that. But for today, I thought it would be super fun and easy to ease us into the new year with just some simple things to kind of implement in your life that will help, I don't know, out with the old and with the new. Instead of just saying, let's just make all these resolutions and have, again, no way to actually get there, I thought it'd be easy just to, you know, do some things in my own life that I've already done or I'm planning on doing and share them with you, like very simple, small, attainable tasks you can do to declutter your mind, rid yourself of some of the like clutter that we have and some of the, I don't know, excess stuff, and kind of refocus and say, how do I want to usher in not just this new year, but this new, you know, quarter, I guess, of the 21st century. Are we in the 21st century? I think so. And with that, let's do the theme song for the first time of 2025. You're also going to have to deal with me because I am sipping on a little wine tonight because I opened this bottle yesterday, and if I don't drink it, it's gonna go bad. So it's just science. All right. Again, these are super simple tips / things I've already started to do. Number one, clean out your makeup bag. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I have makeup sitting in my makeup bag from, I don't know, several years ago. I think I had some eyeshadow palettes from high school, which is 10 years ago now, which is insane. But it was time, you know, I was like, all right, even if I do smear this stuff on my eyes, which I rarely do anymore, it's not going to be the best for my skin anyway. It's like not going to be a good option. So I went through and kind of found things that were expired or just that I didn't use. There was like a mismatched foundation color that I had gotten a long time ago that only really works when I get a certain kind of super tan in the middle of the summertime. So I'm like, I'm not going to use that again. Some cheap stuff that I had tried, little sample products that just didn't seem to work out very well or made me break out, whatever. And then you can reorganize your same makeup bag, maybe even based on like what you use every day to really simplify your morning routine. And then put your fancy stuff like in a separate spot for like special occasions. Ian actually got me a really cool drawstring-esque kind of makeup bag. It's hard to explain, but it's really neat, helpful for traveling for sure. And so that was a great motivator to sit there, I think just a day or two after Christmas. And I just kind of like put on some tunes, lit a candle, organized everything. And I already feel so much better about like knowing exactly what products I have. All of them are still good, not expired, and things that I actually use. And then I have my specialty stuff, like special lip colors and special, you know, once in a while face masks and stuff like that in a separate area. Everything's nice and organized. I feel ready to go. Okay, another thing to do, this one sounds a little bigger, but it doesn't have to be, set social media boundaries. Now, I'm not saying you have to do like a social media fast or say social media is totally out this whole year. But I do think starting off the new year with like a clear intention on how we're going to treat social media this year, the relationship to social media, and just the internet in general, because there's a lot of divisiveness and anger and stuff. For me, since I create content for you guys, I create videos, I also run a business, I hope to like use my social media platform to inspire people to travel or thrift or live sustainably or, you know, book me as their wedding photographer. It's a huge part in literally my every single day life and business. I owe most of my business, my profit, you know, to the fact that social media exists. So it's an interesting thing. It's always a weird relationship, but just like everyone else, I get stuck in the scroll. I think doom scrolling is like the worst thing. And I think these apps, you know, they know exactly what they're doing when they make it harder to exit than they do to enter. Like this, okay, the fact that I could just open my phone on Instagram and the first thing, pay attention to this next time you hop on Instagram, the first thing on your feed is most likely a reel or a video from someone you don't follow. almost every time recently for me. Or if it is someone that you follow, it's a video. And I think the reason is they know that those videos are immediately going to suck you in, and you click to open it and then you just start scrolling. If it's a photo, I feel like I have so much more like, oh, there's a photo, I can move on. But I think recently the algorithm has been so frustrating to me, especially on Instagram, because I'm not even really seeing the people that I follow, like my friends, posting. I'm seeing strangers on the internet posting. I'm seeing like wanderlust elopement weddings and multi-bajillion-dollar styled shoots, like things that literally are not real, are the first things on my feed. So the second that I open Instagram, I'm feeling comparison. And then if I scroll, the next million things that I'm seeing are suggested videos. Again, like not even people that I know. And some of that's fine. Like some of it's entertaining. Sometimes I just want to like laugh a little bit when I'm looking at the internet, and I'm okay with that. But the fact that I'm seeing more from strangers and being influenced more from strangers than where it used to be when Instagram was like in its heyday in 2015, just seeing what your friends and family are up to, seeing who ate what for lunch, like looking for outfit inspo, like it was just like a simpler thing. And if you own a business, it was like, hey guys, here's my work, book me, hope you like it, bye. But now it's like the comparison is out of this world, and the pressure to not just interact as a business, but also like just to, I have to stay relevant. I have to, make sure Instagram doesn't blacklist my account. And so I have to show that I'm active. I have to comment, I have to post, I have to be on stories. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. And our pastor put it into perfect words today in the sermon. He was just saying, just a reminder, like your phones don't work for you. Like they work for a bigger corporation. They work for whoever makes them, and they work for Meta and, Apple, and those places profit off of our time and attention. And I just think that's like the thing I need to keep at the forefront of my mind. And I usually feel like I have a pretty good handle on that. And a good relationship for the business side. But it's, when I'm not posting something for work, or I'm not engaging with followers, or like helping, match someone with the right photographer or something, I'm doom scrolling, and I'm like, this is sucking my time away. So that was my long ramble just to say that social media boundaries are super important all times of the year. But right now, like, why not sit down and say, I'm making a new goal. I'm going to use my screen time feature. I'm going to use my timer settings on the apps themselves. I'm going to get a Brick, one of those cool little lockout devices. I have one. I've used it. I think it's fantastic. Or another app, like there's one I'm using right now called Aro, to kind of monitor how much time my phone is just turned off and away from me, and kind of like celebrate that with friends and family. There's just all kinds of things you could do. Maybe you're sitting here going, okay, that's cool, but it's not really relevant to me. I have a great willpower, and I can put my phone down and I'm not stuck on social media. Or you don't have social media at all, and you're just like, that's not an issue for me. Maybe there's other things that you could evaluate that involve technology, like the news, or unsubscribing from certain emails, or whatever that's like clogging your digital peace, if that makes sense. I think now's a good time to say, let's, same idea. Let's get rid of all the old things, the old apps I'm not using, set timers and boundaries, and build a new relationship that hopefully, kind of trickles into a withstanding, a good habit going forward. Okay. Number 3, I got to move faster. Clean up your camera roll. Speaking of the digital age, if you're like me, your iCloud data is pretty much full to the brim with pictures, videos, texts, whatever. I have so much stuff, and I keep a lot of it because, again, like my camera roll is super valuable to me. It's like my memories in front of my eyes. So I don't want to just delete everything, right? But I just checked, Ian and I looked the other day, because when I first started dating him, I made fun of him for having so many pictures. But then we he had this huge iCloud account, so we just merged accounts. We just checked the other day, and I now have more photos in my iCloud and Apple library than he does. And my photos, not my work stuff, just like my personal camera roll, I have 48,342 photos and videos. Like, that's crazy. I keep a lot of them because, again, memories, but like a lot of them are duplicates. Like if I'm out and about and I want to take a photo of something, I'll take 4 or 5 or 6 photos. And then if I'm taking a picture or video for Instagram, or I have my client photos on here that I'm posting, or, you know, random little videos that are bloopers or drafts or like whatever. Like I have so much stuff. So it takes a long time. I find it really exhausting to go back through and delete everything. So maybe go through like one day at a time, and instead of scrolling on social media, pop up in your camera roll and say, I'm going to look through, you know, the last month at a time and just curate that out and just say, all right, I got duplicates, I got whatever, and clean that up. I think it's going to make you a lot more peaceful too. Like next time you go to look at your camera roll, you're not going to be like, okay. Number 4, simple thing to ease into the new year, donate 5 unused things or just items around your house that you're not going to want to keep anymore. This, I think, puts parameters on the whole pressure of like spring cleaning, like take everything and minimal and, you know, this whole, does it bring you joy? Like Marie Kondo, like it's okay. Don't give yourself that much pressure. It's usually easier when you say, okay, I'm just looking for 5 things that are cluttering up my house, my life, my clothes, whatever, that I don't need anymore. Here we go. And that can turn into more things. If you got more to get rid of, go for it. But just giving yourself like a little challenge of like, let me go through the kitchen, the pantry, my closet. You know, some examples could be unworn clothes, things that just would serve someone better. You know, maybe there's just a couple items there. Kitchen appliances, home decor, coats, random stuff in your childhood that's in your basement for literally no reason. Like I have a bag full of old t-shirts from like middle school and high school. Like, what am I going to do with that? Like, I've seen people turn those into cute quilts that are like kind of nostalgic, but even if I turned it into a quilt, do I want that quilt? Like, I don't know if I do. Create a little box, take stuff to Goodwill, or just throw it in the trash if it's completely unusable. Or, you know, those t-shirts, I don't think anyone's going to want those. But if there is a way to repurpose, obviously repurpose. Otherwise, it's gone. Okay, clean out your purse or your wallet. Super relaxing, super easy to do, nothing crazy. I don't know how other women function, but I personally, like, I have multiple purses, and when I go somewhere, I just like put new stuff in the purse, throw my wallet, phone, and keys. Is that normal? Because I feel like I see so many women like on the internet sometimes, again, comparison, taking everything out of their purse, all cute like and female like, and then putting it all in the new purse. Like that makes so much more sense than what I do. But like, because I do it the other way, I have chapstick, like 20 chapsticks in 10 different purses. I have half-eaten granola bars and trash and bendy straws and Starbucks gift card and more trash for some reason. Like I have so many little things, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, where's that new lipstick that I bought? It's in one of my purses. So pretty soon, this coming week, I'm going to set all my purses out. I'm going to dump them out on the table and reorganize everything and then keep them all empty, hopefully. And so every time I go somewhere, I'll just put the stuff in that bag for the day. I also just don't understand how people keep purses clean. Like mine aren't disgusting, but like the bottoms get all crummy. You know what I mean? Anyway, super easy one. Same thing for a dude if you're not into purses. Empty out your wallet. Maybe you've got some random gift cards, some that have been used and emptied. Maybe you have an old ID from like college or school that you don't need anymore. Maybe you have a weird like wallet picture of your ex-girlfriend. Just like, why? Why is that in there? Take all that stuff out, clean it up, should be good to go. Organize the fridge. It's funny because right when I started like doing this podcast, Ian was organizing the fridge, which was very cute of him. And he was like clanking around, but I was like, honey, I have to record a show, but please keep cleaning the fridge. Like, love you. And that's another one that's super practical. You can just empty out all those Christmas leftovers, all those little, you know, veggies that you didn't quite munch up, old dressings, old like, you know, yogurt, like random things that are probably gone bad at this point, and reorganize it. And not just like get rid of the old stuff, like organize the fridge. Like we kind of redid everything recently and have like the drinks on this little part of the shelf, and then all the veggies over here in the crisper, and then all the dressings over here. Like really put some thought into it and go, how would this best be, pushed around so that we can have a great start to the new year, and keeping all the leftovers, fresh fruits and veggies right at the front. If you are into home cleaning and organizing shows, The Home Edit is on Netflix. I watched it a couple years ago. It's like fine. Like there's nothing like revolutionary about it, but it's just kind of like a cute little reminder of these home organizers' work, of how to organize a space and how nice it is to have a fresh space, and it can put you in the mood to do a little organization. Okay, I got to speed up again. Every year I look forward to this, and it hasn't quite been the same the past few years, but you'll see what I mean. It's still very helpful. The next one would be get a planner. So like I mentioned, every year I used to look forward to going to Target and standing there in the little, home office supply aisle and picking out a brand new fresh planner. It's usually about $20 to $25. You get something kind of cute that you're going to use, maybe get some new pens to go with it. And like you're starting out the year with like a written planner and agenda. I find those really helpful. I love Google Calendars. I use that as well, but like nothing beats like writing it down. So I kind of like to have everything twice. One on my Google Calendar that's personal, and then one on my planner. And then I also have a Google Calendar for work. But recently, I also got really bad at writing things down physically on paper. So I think 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I got the self-care planner at some little small boutique, and turns out they're a really great company called the Self-Care Co., I think. But they do planners that don't have any dates printed on them. So every time you open up a page, you write in the date, and then you can kind of go from there. Every month is the same. That's like just a blank outline for a month, and you write in all the numbers. Again, nothing revolutionary, but it's super helpful. I like the format of the planner in general. I like that it has every week you would track your water intake, your sleep intake, like how much you slept. And you can kind of set habits and goals. They have cute little inspirational quotes and sayings. It's all kind of focused on wellness and mental health. And I think it's really helpful. And I like it because I also don't have to throw out a half-used planner at the end of the year if I fall off on the writing things down wagon. And at any point, I can just keep going. So it is built for like 12 or 16 months, but I've had it for 3 years. And if I skip a couple months or weeks and I forget to write stuff down, I still have plenty of pages to do so. So that's like super helpful for someone like me who forgets to write things down. I'm still using the same planner, and I feel like it was like a little more pricey. It was like $35 or $40. But again, like I'm saving money by not buying a $25 or $30 planner every single year, because I know me and I know I'm going to keep using it. So anyway, I think that one's really helpful. Maybe it's called The Simple Self. Yeah, The Simple Self Co. Okay, that's the name of it if you want one. All right. Another thing to start your year, read a Bible or restart a Bible reading plan, or just a morning routine where you're like starting with analog things. So for me, our church is participating in a fast of social media this month, as well as kind of a year-long Bible reading program. And I'm really excited because this one's actually attainable. I feel like most of the Bible reading programs I've tried before are like, read the entire Bible this year. And I'm like, that's great. But to really like read scripture and then study it in depth enough to know and understand the context, and then meditate on it and then apply it to your life, like that is not a year-long thing. And it becomes a checklist to me. It becomes like I have to like sit really fast, read. I don't know if I understand it. I don't know if it's in or out of context. I try to slap it on some bumper stickerable thing in my brain to go, okay, cool. But in reality, it just like goes in one ear out the other. Like, not that scripture does that, like, but just, it doesn't, I don't get to sit and like let it meditate and marinate and contemplate and appreciate in the way that I would want to, right? So this Bible reading plan is something our church developed, and I'm really happy for this one because we're just reading through, I think, just the New Testament, really, and Psalms and Proverbs this year, which for me, like, that sounds so attainable. Like, it feels much easier to, like, chew on. And then there's just really easy prompts every day to kind of like encourage you to sit and be in stillness. So I'm looking forward to that. But if you are like, I want to read through the whole Bible this year and add a little more context, but also I don't have 20 hours every single day to do that. I think it's called Bible in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz on Spotify is a great resource. It's a Catholic priest who reads through scripture, and he does Old Testament, New Testament, and I think some Proverbs and Psalms as well every day. And they end up being like 20 to 30 minute episodes, and it's completely free. It's on Spotify. But I find that really helpful too if I'm like, okay, I'm not like sitting in front of my Bible, but I still want to intake scripture and I'm on the go, or I don't know, you're just like doing chores and you're like, I want to understand a little scripture today. So you can also do that as well, which would be a little more robust. But if you're also listening to this and you're like, dude, I'm not a Bible person, I would encourage you to maybe just establish an analog morning routine that includes reading something. So maybe that's reading poetry in the morning or journaling on like pen and paper. Maybe that's reading any kind of book. There's great, like, I hate self-help books, like the title self-help books, but there's great like helpful books that aren't scripture related that you could do, like the Atomic Habits, anything by Bob Goff. He's like a, faithful, like faith related author, but it's not like you're reading the Bible kind of thing. So if you're like, hey, that's not my cup of tea, or I've done that a couple times before, I read the Bible a couple times before, I'm looking for something to supplement my morning routine, maybe picking up a book that's fiction or nonfiction and just starting your morning off with like a little quiet time, little quiet coffee moment, and a little reading could be a really good slow way to start the day. All right, I gotta speed up. Create a vision board or a mood board. I think vision boards sometimes get connotated with like manifestation. That's not really my thing, but I do believe that the Lord can like work through our prayers and we can prophesy things, ? I have to do some digging on that. I think theologically, yeah, like we can like speak things into existence, but I also I don't want to pretend like we're magical wizards and anything we say, if we're following God, can do something crazy. And I think sometimes the vision board ideas can kind of go in that direction. But I do also think it is really smart and really wise just to have a vision for your life and have ideas and things that you want to do, achieve, accomplish. And so breaking those into like vision boards per year can kind of help that. I created one on Pinterest the other day, and I'm actually going to make more of like a mood board and print out things and have, again, like an analog one for my personal office because I think it's a lot of fun. But all you really do is just hop on Pinterest or, if you want to go really old school, you can cut up some magazines and just look for like images, words, excerpts of reading, scripture, poetry, anything that you are like, this is something that I want to be a part of my life, or that this is the goal I'm going for, and put it all together. And, on my mood board, for example, there's candlelight dinners with friends. There's scriptures about perseverance. There's, just kind of like the goals of getting outside more. There's pictures of like blue skies and natural curly hair and like things that I want to do this more in my life, like wear my hair more natural, be outside in nature, have community more intentionally, like those kind of things. It doesn't have to be new agey. Could just be a lot of fun. Another one, I kind of mentioned this already in the social media boundaries area, but unsubscribing from unused emails. There are so many emails that I have no idea how I got on the list for. I didn't sign up for them. My email's just floating out there in cyberspace, so I get signed up on all these random things. Unsubscribe. Who needs it? Get it out of your inbox and off your mind. Another easy one, clean up your desktop. If you use a laptop a lot, go ahead and clean that puppy up. I'm sure there's lots of random screenshots, files, folders that don't really have a home. Takes maybe, 10 minutes to really go in there, decide what's old, what's new. And if you ever just want to, do it later, but it's clogging up your brain when you're looking at it, put everything in a little folder to the side that says sort later and you'll figure it out the next time you have energy. But just keeping that a clean space is something that I need to do more. I think it just helps every time you get to work and you're not distracted anymore. And the last one, number 12, super easy to help us head into the new year. Again, instead of all these resolutions, This one is just write one thing to focus on per week. You don't have to think the whole 365 days, what am I going to do, blah, and then feel really disappointed next month when things change. Just what am I doing this week? What is my small, simple resolution goal, or tiny, like maybe it is an overarching goal for the whole year is, let's say, I don't know, become a professional pickleball player. Maybe that's your goal for the 2025. If it is, great. Then you break that up and say, okay, so then my goal in January is to train every single day for pickleball. And then your goal for the first week of January could just be to run a mile and then play pickleball 3 times this week. I don't know. Like, you want to just kind of break it up into like really tangible things. I guess another good example would be like, hey, if your goal is to start a new business this year, maybe, you know, your goal for Q1 is establish yourself as an LLC and create an Instagram page. So your goal for January is just do research on products and services and find a business name. Like something really easy that really just takes it from this to this. Focus on that. So this year, like I said, like I'm going to be chopping down things into little tiny baby bites. So my goals for January are like drink my Stanley Cup all the way through 2 times every day. I'm severely dehydrated. It's just something I need to do. And then my next goal is just going to be like cut out sugar and soda this week. Maybe not sugar, but just like cut out soda and like sugary drinks and stuff for a week. Just little things, and then we'll see how they stack. And it doesn't have to be crazy. It'll just be what it is. Let's just make approachable, attainable things this year and give ourselves grace. And I think we'll have a great time. I don't know. Hey, I'm so happy you were here. Thanks again for watching and tuning in. It is going to be a good year. I can feel it in my bones. Happy you guys are here. Cheers and happy 2025. Bye.